Good morning and thanks for dropping in. I hope you'll be happy that you did because today we're making a cute door hanging or Christmas tree ornament depending on the size of the squares that you use. I've seen this on Facebook quite frequently and I didn't have a pattern, but I just decided that it wasn't that hard. I looked at it a few times. I've since found a free pattern, but this is very close, so I'm going to go with the one that I did. So you would decide, do you like to hang it on a wall, on a door, and because it's rather three-dimensional, it's pretty stable, so on a door it's not going to, the wave off the air when you open and close the door is not going to make it move too much. So let's start. We'll have to remove that till we go with our actual tree. I thought this would work, but it's not working as well as I thought. We're going to go with actual squares. I'm starting with a 10-inch one on the bottom. Then I went down 1.5 inches each time. So it's 10, 8.5, 7, and I think I went with a 6 for this one. Now if you want to keep going, go with a 5.5 or a 5. The smaller the squares get, the less difference you need in the size. For the little small one that we're making for the ornament, there were only 1 inch difference because you don't want them too extreme. So you arrange them in the color scheme you would like, and they don't have to be for Christmas. If you want to use all greens, different shades of green, you can have it for year-round or for the winter or for the fall. And instead of the Christmas ornaments that we put on there, maybe tiny buttons of birds or chestnuts or whatever, or make different colored ones for fall leaves. So this happens to be a Christmas one, but you adapt it to whatever season and whatever size you would like. That's the good part of this. So when you have your place, I'm ahead of myself. You take each square, 2 of each color, and this is the 10-inch square, right sides together, sew around 1/4 inch, 3 sides, and a part of the 4th side, leave an opening so you can turn it right side out. This, pretend you just sewed this, you turn it right side out, and I used a bit of a batting in this one. I thought it was up there. I used a bit of batting in this one, and it makes it a little bit chubbier too. So you can go with just the plain fabric without the batting. You can go with the batting, whichever way you choose. I tended to try it with that first. So you can sew 1/8 or 1/16 of an inch all the way around, and that encloses the opening you had there. Plus, it gives it a little more stability. Let's go back to this one. So you continue along, putting this larger one on the bottom because you're going to be working from the bottom up, which is different than most times we work from the top down. We're working from the bottom up. So you decide which way you would like to have your branches. Let's remove this one. You might have it completely in half. Do you like that? Fold it up in half completely. Put them a little closer together. The one that you saw at the first, it was folded in half completely, and then the top was folded down again. So you'd fold it in half and then fold the top over again. And that gives a little more depth again and a place to put your decorations, whichever way you would prefer, if you like it completely in half or with the top back down. So you decide the design you want. I have pins here. You decide the design you want, and when you go to sew it, be careful again, you're working from the bottom up. So whenever you decide, let's go with the one the same as I showed you, and we'll fold it over. It's in half, and fold it down again. Now, where do you want this one? Once you have that placed, you set your second one there, it's in half, and fold it again. Now, to keep them together, put a pin where the fold is, and you would lift that down, the second one, and you're going to sew a seam across the back to hold the bottom one to the second one. So when you sew the seam and turn it back, this one, green one, is in place, and the second one, you already know where you're going to fold it down, and because you're folding it, you don't see the seam. It's hidden there. So you continue along with this one, and you fold it in half, and notice where your fold is. Now you're going to sew just the seam across the top to hold them together, and they won't fall down because you've sewn them together. And it's not visible because it's behind the fold. So these are 10, 8.5, 7, and I think I went with 5.5. It's getting a little smaller. Now you can continue along if you want to go with a smaller one for the top, like a 3.5. If you want to do a fussy cut one and just lay it flat as opposed to folding it up, and that would be your tree top. If you want to use a wooden decoration, an actual bell, whatever you want for the top of the tree. And so when you're finished, these trees are all sewn together, like this one, and you see the seam in the back when you look at it, but normally you're not going to see any seam. And somebody said they liked it that way, so maybe if you do see the seam, it doesn't matter. Now, to decorate it, some of these are buttons that are just sewn on and you sew it through. Some of them are glued on. And I did have a sew-on button for the top. It's not going to stay because it's the same size as decorations. I might put a wooden star or a brighter star. You can use jewelry to put on it. Buttons, decorations, jewelry, whatever you would like to show off the little Christmas idea. Now, also, I haven't finished this because I'm going to add small bells, and I found some gold embroidery cotton, and I'm just going to attach each bell to the end of the limb on either side. So you can decorate as little or as much as you want. Maybe with the green one, you don't want any decorations on, you just like the green tree. For a hanger, I just used a selvage folded in half and attached to the top of the tree. I knew it was good and sturdy if you want a fancy silver color or whatever you want for your hanger. Now, maybe you want a small one to hang on your tree, a small decoration to hang on your tree, or to put on the top of your gift along with your name tag. Cut smaller. I also added a trunk. Now this one is, I think it's 2.5 by 3.5. You can go much fatter, thinner. You decide on the size. I was just testing it there. And I put a little polyfill in just because the rest was three-dimensional. I thought I might as well go with the trunk being also. So if you want one for a decoration or the top of your gift, go with smaller squares, made exactly the same way. A smaller one still, made exactly the same way. And this is probably 5, 4, 5, 3.5, and 2.5. Now, if you want to go with a smaller one or put another size in between, the amount to adjust the size is strictly up to you. I've seen them that they were 1 inch difference. I've seen 1.5 inch difference. With the smaller squares, I think the 1 inch difference is quite enough. And with the larger ones, you might want to go with 1.5 inches so that the difference is quite visible. So when you set them out, when you cut them before you do the sewing, lay them on top of each other and give it a fold to see which one you like. So again, you're going to put the largest on the bottom up to the top and fold it in half. Maybe these you want folded in half. Now, if you have a pretty material and you fussy cut it, be sure that you put the correct side up. For example, that one's quite pretty in this side. So you fold them in half going up, and then you put together the same way. Maybe you want to just leave it without being folded back this time. And your hanger and your little decorations, the little gingerbread man, and again your bells everywhere. So that can be to hang on a tree. The other thing you could do if you wanted to before you put them together, when they're still the blocks, if you want to quilt it a little, just sew some straight lines, and so it's quilted and it's going to be even sturdier still. I didn't choose to. I figured with the bit of batting and the seam around the outside, it was quite sturdy. But if you want for revision, just because you like to have it quilted, go ahead with the quilting. It's yours. You do whatever you like with it. So you can have a door hanging. You can have your small Christmas tree to hang on onto your Christmas tree, or I have another piece here somewhere. Or you can put it on top of a decoration. A child could take it off, or the person could take it off and hang it on their tree, and you gave them a gift and a little decoration. So have fun and make a forest. Have fun and make an entire forest. So thanks again for dropping in. See you again. Bye now.